Okay, and we are set. Good evening. Well, no one's here yet, but good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. If you're watching the VOD, or whatever it's called, I am trying to get myself all compopulated here. We are working on baskets for my classroom still. But yeah. Got some coffee with me, so we'll see if I fall asleep on live again. Because, yeah, that happens. Just a text tone. Okay, excuse me, that is knotted together magically. And here, little kitty cat paw prints. We're gonna put my scraps there. All right, let's roll on this basket. And wait for people to show up. Still nobody here yet. I hear my kitty cats. They're the real stars of these live streams. Hi, yes, we are working on a basket for my classroom today. I'm using scrap yarn. And a 7mm hook. And a felt bottom that I got off of a sketchy Chinese website, but it took my money and then it came to my house, so there we go. So how is everyone today? Hi, hi. Hi, Mom! Boy, my mom's in chat. Happy almost Mother's Day, Mom. Yo. How is everybody tonight? And yes, my mom is a moderator on this channel because some of y'all don't know how to behave. But yeah, we're just gonna 561 subs. Yes, thank you. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Yeah, almost to 1,000. We're past the halfway point, ever so slightly. I still need to get my watch hours up, though. I think you need 4,000. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So, yeah. I don't know, but the chart and I don't understand the data because I'm bad at math, but the chart is inching ever so closer. It's exciting. So these live streams really help get that watch hour up. So stick around, grab a project, work on it with me, hang out in chat, just behave in the chat. Don't make me use my teacher voice because I am a teacher. Normal vids and live streams. Yeah, I alternate between, I post a long form vlog every other Saturday because that's just all the time I have to make long form content. I try to post 2 or 3 shorts a week, and then I try to go live every Saturday night, and so far that's been working. I only go live once a week, and it's usually just me sitting here crocheting. We are making a blanket, a basket out of scrap yarn. Can y'all tell that I'm just having a week? I don't sell the baskets because this is the first time I've been making them, but I do sell other things I crochet on my website. But no, I just make these baskets for my classroom to store toys and stuff. Not really into selling them yet. Just because you have to buy these bottoms for it. Bye. Well, that was some nice interaction going on there. If you're enjoying this, double tap the screen to like the live, maybe subscribe. Pretty please. Okay, we're getting some good height here on this. I started this a couple nights ago. I haven't been working on it continuously. I've been bad. But yeah. It's parent-teacher conference season and I'm in the trenches right now. So it do be that way sometimes. will say these baskets that I've been making though have been absolutely eating up my scrap yarn, which really needed to get done this year. So, yay. Okay, and we're at the end of another one, so let's quickly attach. Which one? Let's do this pale yellow. Do a magic knot here. Save a ton of time weaving in ends. The magic knot, you basically just tie 2 strands of yarn together. Well, right now I am putting 2 strands of yarn together, but we are crocheting a basket right now. There we go. Just gonna snip this off. Put that there. Quick coffee break. I'm probably gonna regret this later. It is fun. It is fun. I learned when I was very young how to crochet. It's a great way to keep your hands busy. It makes just needing to sit there that much easier. Boy, had a busy day today. Worked on latest vlog that I'm filming. Worked on this basket. Did some stuff around the house. Ran a bunch of errands. And planted some stuff in my garden. And I planted different kinds of squash and tomatoes in my garden today, just to see if I can get something to grow. Normally my garden's just a bunch of wildflowers, but I figured, why not? Let's try it and grow a pumpkin or something. All right, this one is done. That one's already attached. We need to attach this one. If I can just find the end. And there we go. There we go. Okay, put the ends over there in that big jar I have. All right. The cats are good. They're sleeping right now. They've been good kitties today. I'm sure Guinness will appear at some point tonight. He always likes to appear. Rocky thinks he's the true star of these lives. But good. They're good. I think they're cold. They kept huddling together most of the day today. Under blankets. I brought a blanket upstairs earlier today for filming and they stole it from me. It's the cat's house, not mine. Okay. This is going really well. If you're just joining us here, double tap the screen to like the live, subscribe, hang out and chat. What's everybody working on tonight? How was everybody's day? How's the weather? All that good stuff. The thing is, these working with thicker yarns is just absolutely murdering my shoulders this week. Painted a birdhouse today. Made a mistake. Didn't grab the whole strand. Dang it. The problem when you quadruple strand yarn, sometimes you miss. Worked better if I was using a larger hook, but I want these stitches to be tight so that it has good structure. What color did I paint it? I painted it red with a brown roof. The little one. I haven't finished the big one. I got 2 birdhouses to paint. And I got one tiny one to hang up and one big one to go on the ground. And then I painted the tiny one and hung it up outside after it dried, and then I went and ran some errands. And all the stores I went to today were absolutely insane because tomorrow is Mother's Day. And it was filled with children and their dads running around trying to get presents. Went to Dollar Tree earlier and the line was literally just weaving through the store. I've never seen that many people in a Dollar Tree before in my life. I've been absolutely inundated with Dollar Tree content on TikTok recently, which, as a millennial, has me a little nervous. Alright, I think we're going to do a couple more rows of this and then be done with it, because I like the height and structure. And my shoulder hurts working with this thicker yarn, and I want to go back to my regular worsted. So I'm just going to finish this basket up, and then we'll go on to something else, since the night is young. It's only 7:45, so got about an hour before I start falling asleep, but I have coffee this time. It makes me really sore. We're just going to put that right there on the table instead. There we go. Should probably take a couple shots for the vlog I'm filming as well. That round, all right. I know I said a couple more rounds, but I actually like the height of this, so I'm going to finish it off. So this will be the last round of the basket, and then we will move on to crochet something else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a decrease. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a decrease. We are playing yarn chicken here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, decrease, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That almost rolled away. And decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oop, oop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hi, Dad. Thank you, Maggie May. I'm glad you think it looks lovely. Decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Decrease. And we're done. Ta-da! All that's left is to weave in this franken end, but ta-da! This basket is done. I like it. I like the random pops of color. I love it. Let's get a quick shot for the vlog. I film all my vlogs on my phone because we are low budget in this business. Ta-da! It's all done. Say hi to the vlog, everybody. All right. We'll just put the leftover scraps in the basket for now. Like it. It's pretty. It's got good structure. It will hopefully withstand children beating it up. All right, let's work on something else. I'm going to set this down. And I'm going to put this back where they need to go so I don't sit on them later. Put my thing back. I was about to say, where did my coffee go? I put it over here. All right. Y'all remember this bad boy? Gonna get some work done on it. So, as soon as I find where I left off, because this is a big blanket, okay. All right, I need to grab my 6.5 millimeter and my basket of squares. I need mushroom square. Convenient place to put this. I don't have much. Nah, we'll just bend over and pick it up on the floor again. And I want to finish off this last little scrappy bit. We're using Hirschner's Worsted 8 Celebrate in the color Thanksgiving to connect these many squares. It needs to be facing this way. So let's go. Love Hirschner's Worsted 8. I'm so glad Hirschner's picked up Big Twist. It makes the sting of losing Joann's a little easier to tolerate. I also really like Hirschner's Worsted 8 because the variegateds actually coordinate with the solids. Gotta remember, I gotta put a chain in the middle for these connecting rounds. Three. Right. Time to connect. Got way more viewers than we usually do tonight. That's pretty awesome. Okay, got the corner connected. It's facing the right way. Yay. We were on the struggle bus when I first started connecting all the squares a couple weeks ago because I kept accidentally putting the mushroom ones upside down. Yes, this is the blanket. I mean, my brother and my future sister-in-law, they already know what it's gonna look like. They picked out the yarn. I told them what I was making them. They requested it. They requested a big blanket in a fall theme. And they picked out the yarn. I know they both would have liked it better if I was using real wool, but I'm allergic to wool. So acrylic it is. But you know what? Acrylic can go in the washing machine, and this big blanket my grandma made back in the 70s, Red Heart Super Saver, gone through the wash literally thousands of times. Still just as nice as when she finished it back in the 70s. So. Pivot. Excuse me. know there's a continuous join as you go, but it requires a lot of math. So we're doing just a regular join as you go method. I have a wool allergy and I have dyscalculia and I have a crochet business because the good Lord has a sense of humor. Love you too, Mom. And last stitch. Woohoo! Put it there where it belongs. Pick up the scissors from where they belong. Cut the yarn. Put the scissors back where they belong. This game just won't quit. Feels like I've been using that piece of scrap yarn to connect all these things forever. So here's the square we just connected. Now we're going to move on to the next one. This big blanket. It's supposed to be a king-sized blanket when it's done. All right. Pick up another granny square. We're going to use a regular granny square. I'm also going to start preparing this skein so that I can just attach the factory knot. Or no, factory tangle. Okay. And this is also what I like about Hirschner's. Not sponsored. Easy start tab so I don't have to dig around for the center pull. I used to be an outer pull girly, but I don't know. I got older. Everybody's quiet tonight. Okay. Salute the little scrap. That is now almost done. Find the end of it. Start connecting. sheet and weave this little end in here real quick. Weave in the ends as you go so that when I'm done with this blanket, all that's left to do is snip off the little bits. If you're just joining the live, welcome. Double tap the screen, hit that subscribe button, really helps me out. Wait, shoot. I have to connect it. Oopsies. Chain one. Chat's quiet tonight. I thought for sure it would be a busier with it being a full moon and all. Chain. Excuse me. Turn. There we go. And we have another square connected. Done with that. Bye-bye. That's I hear kitty cat paws. Zuzu. Zuzu, the camera shy kitty, so. She's not going to make an appearance. She knows when I'm filming and she'll hide because Zuzu does not like the camera. Okay. That end is woven in. These are all attached. Coffee break. Okay. Now we need to attach another mushroom square. So pull one out. Boop. Oh. Must be almost 8 o'clock. Yep, it's 8:12. That's why. I used to be such a night owl. But now I'm completely exhausted by 8 p.m. If you're just joining the live, welcome, welcome. Double tap the screen to like the live, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Hang out and chat. Help the almighty algorithm recommend my content to others. Please. Miss MySpace. Non-problematic, non-algorithmic. ready to connect. My nemesis, static electricity. I don't know why, but I have been so groggy this past week. Anyone else? I don't know what it is. I've been coming home from work and falling asleep. Ugh. Thought I was gonna sneeze. Excuse me. Should take it off. Usually I don't start yawning until the hour and a half mark. Though I did go live a little later than I usually do today. I usually go live around 6 o'clock, but I fell asleep. Took a nap. Because I worked out in the garden today. And another square connected. Yay! This thing is getting big. Ta-da! I hear kitty cats munching behind me. Alright, that is done. Now to add a regular granny square. So we're going to flip it back around. We're going to grab a regular square out of the basket down here. And we're going to connect. And we have just passed the hour mark. We've been live for an hour. Woohoo! Thank you to whoever just subscribed. The notification just popped up on my phone. Well, thank you for subscribing, Laura. Makes my heart happy. I hope you enjoy my videos. I post a long form video every other Saturday. I had one go up this morning. Come on. Cooperate, please. Wonder. Where am I from? You're from Michigan. I'm from Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, born and raised. Something just. How long have I been crocheting? I have been crocheting for 26 years. 26? 26, yeah. I got so in the zone I didn't see the message pop up. I'm sorry about that. It's almost 8:30, and I am no longer a night owl. I was when I was younger, but like I used to go out at 10 o'clock, and now I'm incredibly sleepy by 8:30. Life comes at you fast. Alright, another square has been connected. So I'm going to weave in that end. And I am going to connect yet another square when I'm done weaving in this end. This blanket is big and it's getting hard to add squares onto, but it's at the point where it's cozy while I'm working on it. Square added. Flip it around some more. I'll put that there. Yeah, this is supposed to be a king-sized blanket, so it's definitely getting up there in size. Okay. Excuse me. All right, here we go. Now I just connected a regular one. Mushrooms, that means flower. Time to attach one of these. Oh my goodness. Good Lord. This coffee is not doing its job. I started making squares for this blanket back in January of this year. This is going to be a gift for my brother and future sister-in-law for their wedding in October. So I've just been slowly working at it since January. And I need to have it done by the end of September so I can give it to them for their wedding in October. So I try to make a couple granny squares for it every day, and then when they're done blocking, I start attaching them. And it's been going pretty good so far. I'm on track. To have it done in time. Oh, come on. Again, I used to like go out at 10. I used to not go to bed until like midnight. Getting older is no fun. Like, it's a Saturday, so I don't have to be up early tomorrow. It's only on weekdays that I have to be up early. Really, I get up at like 5:30 in the morning on weekdays. So weekends, I sleep in, so I shouldn't be so tired so early in the evening, but nope. I even took a nap on the couch earlier today to try and prevent some of this sleepiness on live. Maybe I just need to start going live earlier in the day. I think we'll attach the rest of the squares in this row and then call it a night. So I should hit the hour and a half, 2 hour mark by that point, and that's about all I have the attention span for. Plus, it's been a really slow night for some reason. Everybody's all probably out getting ready for Mother's Day, at least my American regulars in chat. That's okay. Love a good quiet night with my crochet. And that is another square connected. Woohoo! Good progress tonight. Connected a bunch of squares. Finished a basket. Hi, Aaliyah! It's been quiet tonight. One blanket a month for donation. That's really sweet. That's nice. I know for my high school graduation project, years and years and years ago, I crocheted and donated a ton of really tiny baby hats for NICU babies. Just attachment today. I've got a basket full of squares. I've got so many that need to be attached. But we did a basket earlier, but I finished that, and the thick yarn was making my shoulders hurt, so I'm going back to my worsted weight. Oh, I also did some gardening today, so my shoulders hurt from that. The basket from last week? Yes, I have finished a bunch this week, actually. I finished the one from last week. I finished a small one. I already brought some of them in, and the kids are now playing with the baskets instead of the toys. They dump out the toys that I have so lovingly organized for them, and they walk around carrying the baskets. And I already had to bring one home and wash it because one of the little toddlers was carrying the big floral one I made. She was carrying the big floral one. And she is just learning to walk, and she decided she could carry this floral basket that was literally half her size while walking, and as she was toddling along carrying it, she fell and bit her lip really bad. So I had to bring it home and run it through the wash because she then started chewing on it. But it was okay. The basket washed out very nicely. And she got a popsicle because I keep a stash of frozen chunks of fruit and popsicles in my classroom freezer because they fall and bite their lips a lot, and then they cry because it hurts. So I give them a little icy pop to chew, to gnaw on, and that makes them feel better. And it survived the wash. Yeah, I like ice pops. Today it was weirdly chilly though, so an ice pop does not sound appealing right now, but yeah, just those colorful little sticks you put in the freezer that no one agrees on what they're called. I keep a stash of them just for fat lips. Because they give themselves fat lips more than you realize. I did learn the hard way a couple years ago to not give them the red freeze pops after they've bitten their lips, because then that just makes it look so much worse. And they get it all over themselves because they're babies. 78 today. It was high like 65 here in my part of Pennsylvania. It was stupid cold for some reason. I don't know why, but it was because, well, it's Pennsylvania. Don't like the weather. Wait 30 seconds. But it was nice and warm all week. Yeah, 15 a month is about right if they're confident. The problem is, as soon as they start walking, they want to carry things themselves, and they don't care if it's an object that's literally twice their size. I put the beach balls out a couple weeks ago, and the ones that are walking are carrying them around, and they keep bumping into each other off the beach balls and sending each other flying. And I think at this point they're doing it on purpose because they think it's funny. But they're cute. Their little personalities are shining through. And I think they realize now that if they get a fat lip, they get a popsicle, so. You're smarter than you give them credit for. Adults in hamster ball. Yes! It is a lot like adults in hamster balls. It's so funny. I know the app we use to send pictures and stuff to the parents throughout the day, I'll post those videos to the parents in the app, and the most recent app update for some reason added like emoticon reactions to the pictures. So the parents can like heart, smile, sad face the pictures. But I always get a ton of laughing face reactions whenever I post the videos to the app of them bumbling around and bumping into each other, climbing things. Though they all seem to have moved on from climbing the shelves, thank God. Children, they yearn to climb. Gave him a cardboard box on Friday. That was fun. Alright, another square attached. Yeah, I would have loved to try out a hamster ball, but I just know it would not go well for me. Like every time somebody in my classroom gets an injury, we have to write up a report, teacher or kid alike. And I was going through the Boo Boo report files for a month once, and literally 75% of them were just me hurting myself in various ways. And it's usually like that. And yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I did ballet for 13 years, and now I trip over my own feet. Which is also weird because I can navigate the minefield of toys in my classroom and not trip over any of that, but my own feet, I'm doomed. All right. Mushroom square. Making good progress tonight. I just have to attach 3 more squares, and then the row of this part of the blanket is complete, and we can move on to the next one. Which is very nice. But yeah. I don't have all of the squares finished. Like, I will go through and have a big binge of just making squares, and then I'll block them all. And then I'll go on a big binge of connecting them. So I've got a basket just full of squares that have already been blocked, but I'm fairly certain I don't have all of them made, just because this is an 11 squares by 13 squares blanket. And I'm currently about to finish the 4th row, but I still have a lot of squares in the basket. And then once I'm done connecting all the squares, I need to figure out what kind of border I'm going to put on. I work in batches so that I'm always jumping around the blanket so I don't get bored. Because if I just had to sit and attach the squares together, I would get bored. But if I was just sitting and making squares, I would get bored. That ADHD life. Like, this is the biggest granny square blanket I will have ever made in my 26 years of crocheting. Scallops, chevron, lace, scallops. I didn't think of scallops. That would be cool. I was thinking, I saw a tutorial from TL Yarn Crafts on how to add a linen stitch border to granny squares at one point. And y'all know I love a good linen stitch. If you can't tell, the linen stitch is my favorite, since I think a majority of the things on my website are made with the linen stitch. I was thinking that I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a granny stitch border around, kind of like the plain granny squares on here, since the edging is there. So then I'll go red, yellow, green, do another round of this. And then I'm thinking maybe a linen stitch border. Those scallops sound like a nice idea. Maybe I'll do the red, yellow, green, and then have this color be the scalloped edge. But I know I don't just want to do a plain single crochet border. I want to do it a little fancy. Well, maybe I'll do the crab stitch too. I don't know. The one where you single crochet and twist the hook around in a circle. I've done that for some of my baby blankets, but 7 by 10 squares. That's a lot of squares. I said I can't do math. Love coffee. 70 squares. That's a lot of squares. Yeah, usually when I make a granny square blanket, because I have made granny square baby blankets before, is what I'll do is I'll just make like a giant granny square, or I will make a bunch of medium-sized granny squares that are like 10 rounds each and then connect them. I don't usually do the standard 5-round granny square. But yeah, these are like the only regular sized quote unquote granny squares I've made in a long time. Usually I make them really big. I know for Father's Day 2 years ago, it's somewhere on my Instagram, I just made my dad a giant granny rectangle throw blanket. And what I did was I just did a granny rectangle, but I just kept going and going and going and going and going and going and going, and it's quite big. I'll have to pull it out for another live stream at some time. I would grab it to show everybody now, but it's all the way upstairs. And I don't feel like moving right this minute. But, yeah. But my sweet baby brother and sister-in-law requested a granny square quilt as a wedding gift. So I must oblige. But yeah. It's a wedding present. I can suck it up and make a giant granny square present blanket for a wedding present for my brother. Yeah, I really like granny squares. It's when they're small and have a million ends to weave in is when the ADHD kicks in. And then, yes, there's that granny all-in-one yarn from Red Heart. And yes, it's Red Heart Super Saver, my ride or die. But I actually don't have a lot of strength in my fingers. So my tension runs really, really loose. Yep, they did. They picked the colors. I know. I went once I found the color packs on Hirschner's, because that's where this yarn is from. It's from Hirschner's. I literally just held it up and was like, okay, pick the color pack you want, add to cart. Whatever you pick, I'll make. And they both are really into like fall color palettes. So, of course, they picked this fall color palette. And then there we go. All right, another square connected. There's the mushroom square. So next is a plain one and then another flower square, and then this row is done. Hi, Rocky. Rocky the kitty walking by. Rocky Fluffy Tail. I don't know if he'll come over and be on camera. I would like him to. Because Rocky seems to think this blanket is his as well. They literally stole a blanket off of me earlier. I was filming some order packing, and I laid out a nice plain white blanket on the table I was using. And they literally came up, grabbed it in their little baby mouths, ran off with it. Because they think blankets belong to them. Right. Regular square. I have 3 cats. One of them, Guinness, is all black. Hi, Rocky. And the other 2 are, they're twins. They are silver tabbies, Rocky and Zuzu. Rocky, the people would like to see you. Come here. Come pay your bills. Appear on camera, please. Come back here. He's a stinker. Rocky. He's climbing something he shouldn't be. Come up. Come up and sit with me. Come here, fluffy butt. Come here, good boy. Got ya. Here's Rocky. Oh, there was Rocky. Rocky. Let's see, maybe I can angle the camera and you can see him. There he is. There's Rocky. He's my boy. One of my boys. Guinness, the black cat, is a boy. He's my old boy. You're my little boy. Yeah, Rocky. Yup, cat tax paid. He earned his keep. Yes. But yeah, he is going to be 5 in August. He and Zuzu, and Guinness is going to be 15 in August. I got all of them when they were little baby kittens. I got Guinness when he was 3 or 4 months old. And I got Rocky and his sister Zuzu when they were 12 weeks. When they were little babies. I think he sees a bug. He sees a sky raisin. I know. Thomas pulled on for the ride until you put him down. Rocky likes to be carried on my hip like a baby. And Guinness does too. I mean, I started doing that when I was furloughed back in 2020 because my school shut down for COVID. And then when they reopened, they kept me furloughed until a few extra months because my mom has a compromised immune system. And so, but I was just so out of sorts not having babies to hold. I would pick up my cat Guinness and plunk him on my hip and carry him around the house. And then I started doing the same thing with Rocky and Zuzu every time I got quarantined, because I got quarantined a lot because children are disgusting, but they're so cute. Like every time I was out of work, I was like, it feels like there needs to be a weight on this hip. Cat. Because I'm just so used to always having a baby on my hip. So, yeah. Rocky and Zuzu, even though they're almost 5, we still refer to them as the kittens. They were my my pandemic buddies. Great cats. I mean, Sweet Guinness has always liked being carried since I got him so young, and I always walked around the house holding him because he was just such a little bean. And he still wants me to walk around and hold him, but he's a big bean now. It's been a new cousin. Yeah. Yeah, I was in the baby trenches I've been in the baby trenches since, let's see, was 7 years this week. So I'm going into my 8th year of working with babies. And being furloughed over COVID was the longest time I'd gone without either school or a job. And it got to the point where a family of one of my babies at the time reached out and was like, hey, they're making us go back to the office. Can you come watch our baby? To which I said yes, of course. Yeah, we did do some fun stuff for Teacher Appreciation Week. Lots of catered lunches. The parents put together a big breakfast potluck for us on Monday, which was really good. They all made stuff for us. And then we had an ice cream bar Tuesday. Wednesday, the owners gave us a catered, no, Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday, we had the catered lunch. Wednesday, I genuinely cannot remember. Yeah, I can't remember what we did for Wednesday. Did we do anything for Wednesday? Then Thursday, we all got a time slot to have a back massage, which I opted out of because I don't like people touching me, especially strangers. Babies don't count as people touching me because they're babies, but other grown-ups, I just don't like people touching me. So I opted out of getting a massage and got an extra break instead. And they gave us a catered lunch. And then yesterday we all got flowers and such. And then, of course, I got gifts from the parents of the babies in my class throughout the week. Lots of Michael's gift cards. Because the parents, yeah. Because, I mean, the parents know that I crochet because I make stuff for the babies all the time. I make them gifts for their first birthday all the year. Half the parents follow me on my YouTube. Some of them might even be in chat right now. I have a very supportive work community of my YouTube stuff. But, well, no, if they were in chat tonight, they would have said something. Somebody would have said something. Get water. Yeah, it's really nice to have a small, supportive community like that. I know I have one family from my very first group of babies, my very first class of babies, and they're my best customers on my website. And I get commissioned a lot by them. I don't take online commissions, I only take commissions from people I know in real life. But I get commissioned a lot by the people at my school. I've made several Halloween costumes, little baby Halloween costumes. Unfortunately, due to, ethics, I can't share. Obviously, I can't share pictures of that. But I have made several baby Halloween costumes. They were all very cute. And of course, my baby blankets, my baby sweaters. Okay, I need a flower granny square now. Yeah. I'm the baby lady. For one little girl 2 years ago, I made her the cutest little piglet costume. And Mom paid a very pretty penny for it. I know one of the babies from my first class, she still brings the baby blanket I made her for her first birthday. She brings it to first grade with her. It goes in her backpack every day. I accidentally turned her into a blankie baby that dragged a blankie everywhere. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of cute. We have several blankie babies in my class right now that just want to drag their blankets with them everywhere they go. It's cute until they get territorial over them. go. All right, we're on the last square of this row. I was feeling tired, but the coffee finally kicked in. So, I'll probably go for a little while longer. So I'll attach maybe 2 or 3 more squares before calling it a night. Because it is currently about 9:15. Here's Zuzu. Yeah. The cats will want their pre-bedtime snuggle on the couch. Reminds me I gotta hit the pet store at some point next week. Also gonna need to make another Hirschner's order soon. I need to get more of this yarn for this blanket. And I gotta re-up my supply of cotton yarn because I've been blowing through my cotton yarn like nobody's business. And we're done with that one. Ba-ba. Yarn hauls. You like watching my yarn hauls? I love watching people's yarn hauls. I know I've been actually really good this year about not buying as much yarn. I know I gave up for Great Lent. I gave up buying yarn from big box companies and stuff. Like if I bought yarn at all that time, it was from small business. So like hand-dyed cotton, stuff like that. Or local craft stores that had the big box brands. So cotton yarn, I've been making a lot of coasters. I just had a drop on my website today of these new coasters. Little mushroom coasters. And I make a lot of bags. Lots of those mesh market bags. Bandanas. Sarah, yeah, her hauls are gonna be... I love watching them. I'm just no more Joann's hauls for me because both of the Joann's near me have closed. They were the smaller stores. So I think the next nearest Joann that is actually still open to me is one of Sarah's, actually. Which is sad. I mean, I still have a Michael's in my town, but I've always been a Joann's girly. Everybody hydrate. Yeah. I've always liked Michael's for, like, crafts. Like, I've been painting some birdhouses for my native wildflower garden, not a wildfire garden. It's getting late. And I got all those like little woodcraft birdhouses and stuff from Michael's. And like I enjoy going to Michael's for like painting stuff, because surprise, surprise, I do like to paint. I have a lot of crafts. It's just crochet that I'm into. It's just that crocheting was the first one, and it's the longest lasting one. It's the one that I always come back to, despite my other ADHD hobby, collecting. Yeah, Michael's is good for crafts. Joann's was good for the textiles. And I know my local Michael's is trying, because we don't have, they're the only like crafty thing that's left for like an hour radius. Like, we don't have a Hobby Lobby. Not that I'd ever shop there. But yeah. Michael's is the last one standing we have, and we have 2 local yarn stores in the area, but they both have really weird hours. Because I know one is technically not a local yarn store, it's a creative reuse shop. But it's staffed entirely by adults with disabilities as part of a disability program in the area. So it has weird hours. It's literally never open when I can go there, except for once in a blue moon. They have Saturday hours once a month. But their weekday hours are only open 2 days a week for 4 hours, all times at which I am at work. And then the other one is only open by appointment. Which, as a severe introvert, I don't like the idea of being the only person in a store. So, Michael's is all we have left. Yeah. I mean, there's always like ordering from online companies, but there's always just some comfort of wandering the yarn aisles at Joann's. Because our Joann's was one of the small ones, but it always had a nice selection of yarn. Whereas our Michael's is literally only ever had Michael's house brand, loops and threads. Which is nice, but sometimes I don't want loops and threads. Sometimes I want Red Heart. And it just has a very small, ours just has a very, very small yarn selection. Like it has one aisle of yarn, that's it. It has a lot of painting stuff though, but and then the next nearest craft store would be Hobby Lobby, which I won't shop there, and it's an hour drive away. Lily's Lily Sugar and Cream. I like it. I use Lily Sugar and Cream for my coasters and stuff, and mesh market bags. It's a good yarn. It's just really stiff, and sometimes stiff cottons can be hard on my knuckles because of my old injuries to my hands. So I have to have a really loose gauge when I work with them. But I mean, I have lots of Lily Sugar and Cream. And lots of peaches and cream, stuff like that. That I use for bag making and kitchen stuff. I think my favorite cotton though is the Hirschner's Craft Cotton, because that one's really soft. It's not stiff. It's not hard on my joints. It's really nice. And I like how it comes in coordinating colors. So the variegateds actually coordinate to a solid color, like they match. And I like it when things match. All right, we just hit the 2-hour mark and I just connected another granny square. Another one. So if we're following the pattern, I need to connect the flower one next. First, I'm going to weave in this end. That way, the Hirschner's cotton. Thank you. I'm glad you think it's beautiful. The Hirschner's cotton. Oh, well, I know I usually get the big 1-pound cones for ones I use a lot, but I do get 5-packs. But usually when I buy the cotton, what I do is I buy the color packs that have the variegated with its coordinating solids. So that's usually how I buy it. But I've been thinking of investing more and more into getting the big cones, just because I do use it so much. That would be a smart business decision and a tax write-off. Because, yeah, I buy a lot of yarn, but I get to write it off on my taxes. So I get some of that money back. All right, we're going to connect a flower granny square now. And if you crochet for YouTube, you can write a lot of stuff off on your taxes. And if you're a teacher, you can write a lot of stuff off on your taxes. Like, because we use an app at work as a teacher, I can technically write my phone bill off on my taxes. Oh, hold on 1 second. Hi, can I call you back in a bit? I'm still live. Yeah, I'll call you back in like 15. Does anyone say goodbye anymore? Yeah, it's 9:30. The coffee helped. But I do need to get off, so I'm going to connect this granny square and then shut down for the night. So let's finish this off, and then we'll have been live for I will. We're still going to be live for a couple more minutes just so I can connect the square, and then we'll hop off. And then I'll call him back. And then go to sleep, hang out with my kitties. Yeah, I tell mine. I use please, thank you, hello, goodbye. With mine, though, that manners are important, but that's also just because I watched 2001 A Space Odyssey when I was way too young. So now talking computers scare me. So everybody talks about AI and the wonders of AI now, and I'm like, did y'all not watch the movie? Like, media literacy in this country is dead. Or maybe I'm just a paranoid lunatic, but yeah, I don't like AI. I don't like smart devices. I don't like computers that talk. Like, I have Siri disabled on my phone. That's how badly that movie messed me up when I was a kid. I think I've talked about this before, the trauma 2001 A Space Odyssey caused me. It was. I watched it again as an adult, and it wasn't that bad, but as a little kid, just. It was really freaky. And then I read the book, which was even freakier, because a lot of people don't realize 2001 A Space Odyssey was actually a book first. I mean, Yeah, it's just, yeah, that movie had me messed up as a kid. Because I know the plot of the movie is it was written in the 60s and it's set in the futuristic year of 2001. And it's about regular routine space flights, and it's about this astronaut that's been sent to, I can't remember, it was either Jupiter or it was Jupiter in one, and then they changed it to Saturn in the other. I think in the book it was they went to Jupiter because they found some kind of creepy monolith on the moon that was like telling them to go to Jupiter or Saturn. And so these two astronauts were maintaining the spaceship while the other astronauts were in stasis, and they were flying to go investigate Jupiter. I should know this, which one it was. Anyway, they were flying to investigate one of the two. And they had an AI assistant named Hal. And Hal went on a murderous rampage. And killed everybody on board except the one guy, Dave, because he was able to disable Hal before he got tossed out the airlock. But yeah, they all went mad from the isolation, including the AI, and it started killing people. But then again, it was also confused because there was like a secret behind this mission that the AI wasn't supposed to tell them about. But because it was a computer, it couldn't think critically, so it just killed everybody to keep the secret. And it had lots of like really flashy scenes that scared me because I was a kid and I didn't like flashy scenes. And it was just, yeah. It's a good movie and it's a really good book. Just don't show it to your 3-year-old. Unless you want your 3-year-old to be massively distrustful of technology that talks. Because I know if you ask the Alexa to open the pod bay doors, this is my dad had me ask it once when we first got one. Did go over well. It did not go over well. I was like, shoot it! Shoot it! Get it out of the house! So, that's my childhood trauma. And why everybody talks about how great AI is, and I'm just, nope, can't get over that. No. I will be forever distrustful, and I will be ready to go run off into the mountains and be an insane person before I ever trust it. All right, we got a whole row on the blanket done. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do that. Yeah, that's what the evil AI said before it killed everybody. In the movie and in the book. So that just hit my trauma response. All right, we are going to have to pack it in for the night here because I'm very tired. Coffee kept me from falling asleep on live though, so I think we'll incorporate that. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you have fun listening to my sci-fi induced traumas and other things. But I'm tired and I need to go to bed now. So I will chat with you all again next Saturday around the same time. I'll try to go out live a little earlier in the evening. I usually go live around 6, but I was napping at 6 this evening. So thank you. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be notified every time I post. I do sell things I crochet on my website, smallpinecrafts.square.site. It is linked in the description, and Nightbot has been spitting it out in the chat every so often. So thanks again, and we can all chat next Saturday. Bye. And now for the weekly, I need a sticky note of how I turn this off. Good night.